everyone. My name is Angie Jabir, and I'm the Deputy Athletics Director and SWA here at Lynn. First, I want to start off by saying how great it was to see many of you back on the court, on the field, and out doing strength and conditioning on the sidewalk with Zach. It was just great to be out there. I brought my young son out, and we were able to see a lot of you getting back in action, so it was great to see. Today, I'm going to speak to you about a topic that is near and dear to my heart, and that's mental health. And what I want to focus on today specifically is mindfulness. We're even going to meditate for a few minutes today. So I hope this will be a great session. Before we get started, let me tell you a little bit about my background. So about 20 years ago, I was a college athlete, just like many of you, all of you. I was a college basketball player. And back when I played, mental health was not something that we really discussed. I actually experienced a coaching change my junior year, and it was very difficult for me. I experienced weight loss. I had anxiety and sadness many, many days. And it just, the answers, were be tough, fight through it. It'll be okay. Our athletic trainer actually gave us chocolates to try to cheer us up because so many of us on my team were struggling. So from after I finished my college basketball experience, I went on to be a coach. I coached Division I and Division III basketball for about 6 years. And now as an administrator, mental health is something that has continued to be very important to me. So again, I look forward to talking with you about this very important topic today, but I want to start off by engaging you a little bit. So I'd like to ask you to please take a minute to reach out to me in the chat. Please share with me where you're from and in one word, how you're feeling today. And please remember, I'm the only one that sees your responses. So again, where you're from and in one word, how you're feeling today. And while you're doing that, let me share my goal for today. I want to focus on tools to help you cope with anxiety and stress. We all feel it, whether it's on the court, in the classroom, in relationships, but your power lies in your ability to handle stress. Let me say that again. Your power lies in your ability to handle stress. Stress comes completely from the outside. It's not internal. So when we allow outside forces to stress us out or to give us anxiety, we're giving away our power. I'm sure many of you can relate to a time when you let an opponent get inside your head. You gave away your power. When you let an argument affect your practice later that day, you gave away your power. Even if your coach says something, a criticism, and you take it to heart and you let it affect the next practice and the next practice, you've given away your power. So again, today I want to focus on helping give you some tools to cope with anxiety and stress, because like I said, we're all feeling it. These next 20 to 25 minutes are about you. It's all about you, not about me, not about anyone else besides you. So take this time to center yourself mentally. As I mentioned, I'm not a mental health expert, but as a former college athlete and coach, and now as an administrator, there's nothing more important to me than you and your mental health. So as I mentioned, today I'd like to focus on mindfulness. Mindfulness is a topic that you've probably seen connected to your sport in one way or another. You can see just these few articles that we pulled. Golf. U.S. women's soccer uses mindfulness to be at the top of their game. What is mindful running and how do you do it? And then baseball, the Pirates, mental skills coach. They have coaches now, obviously, as you know, in the professional leagues, just to help with mental health, mindfulness, meditation. So again, it's a topic you've probably seen connected to your sport in one way or another, but what exactly is mindfulness? This video will help us get started in answering that question.
Never costed in Zen stuff. You know, I approached it with mindfulness.
Mindfulness, yes.
So we talked about mindfulness as being, you know, as much as we pump iron, we run to build our strength up, we need to build our mental strength up. We need to build our mental strength so we can focus, get one-pointed attention, and so that we can be in concert with one another in times of need. When you come off the court, you had a bad call, things going wrong for you, you sit on the bench, you take a breath, and you reset yourself. You reset yourself. And you do that through this mindfulness. You just come right back in and collect yourself. So we practiced mindfulness. It's what you have to do. But what did stick was meditation. That was always something that was able to stick with these guys.
So powerful.
I meditate every day. I meditate every day. And I normally I do it in the mornings, and I do it for about 10 to 15 minutes. And I think it's important because it sets me up for the rest of the day. It helps me. It's like having an anchor. You know, if I don't do it, I feel like I'm constantly chasing the day, as opposed to being able to be controlled and dictate the day. Not that you're calling the shots on what comes forward, but the fact that I am set and ready for whatever may come my way. I have a calmness about whatever comes my way, the poise. And that comes from starting the morning off with meditation.
So you would literally have the guys sit in stillness?
That's right.
Meditating?
That's right. Taught them how to hold their hands, where their shoulders have to be, the whole process of being in an upright situation so that you're not slouched and you're not going to fall asleep. And they bought into it.
So again, that's just one example of one sport and one very well-known athlete, Kobe Bryant, who used mindfulness and meditation to enhance his game. Mindfulness is being present with your thoughts and feelings, body sensations, and surrounding environment. Mindfulness is without judgment. Mindfulness is realizing that you aren't calling the shots or even what comes next, but maintaining a calmness about whatever it is that comes next. It's not easy. It must take a lot of practice. I know I have a long way to go in mindfulness, but I want you to understand that we recognize everything you're going through. Lots of things seem out of your control. For example, being at home over the summer and learning that you weren't going to be able to practice right away when you returned to Lynn. How were you able to handle that information? A lot of things right now for all of us are not in our control. And those who thrive with resilience, like we learned about last week, are those who can be mindful and be present with your thoughts and feelings. Meditation is just one way in which people practice mindfulness. As Kobe said, meditation provides a calmness about whatever comes his way. You could see the way that he simply didn't react when the opposing player took the ball, shoving it in his face while preparing to throw it inbounds. I'm not sure there's too many of us that could have reacted that way in that situation. And I'm sure you can relate to a time when you let an opponent get the better of you. Last night I was watching the NBA semifinals, and I looked during warm-ups and I saw LeBron James simply sitting on the bench with his eyes closed, meditating, while the rest of his team prepared and took shots on the floor. So what I want to do now is I want to introduce you to the first phase of meditation, which is simply breathing. For any of you who have taken a yoga class, you know the importance of your breath. Perhaps you're getting ready to give a speech in class and you're feeling anxious. Simply breathing will help you calm your anxiety and worry. So for the next 3 minutes, I'm going to ask you to simply breathe following the prompts on the screen. At first, you're going to hear sounds and you're going to see words. But as you become more familiar with the rhythm, you may decide to close your eyes and simply follow the sound prompts for breathing. And again, I just remind you, give it a try. If this is the only time you ever practice meditation and breathing, that's okay. But give it a try. It may be something that can help you down the road. So again, find a comfortable spot and prepare to breathe. Thank you. How do you feel? Maybe a little less anxious, a little more centered, simply after pausing to breathe? Let me know how you're feeling in the chat. If you're interested in more meditation, all you need to do is simply turn to your iPhone or your iPad. There are many apps out there to help you with this very topic. The one we use today is called Calm. And I believe you can actually get seven days free of Calm if you're interested in exploring this a little bit more. But during quarantine, these type of virtual apps, these mindfulness and meditation apps have become increasingly popular with collegiate and professional sports. Because again, you're not alone. Everyone is experiencing stress and anxiety during this time in our country with a global health pandemic, civil unrest, racial inequality. You are not alone. Before we walk through other ways to be kind to your mind, let's talk a little bit about stress. So as I mentioned before, many of us feel stress. Several of you even mentioned in the chat that you're feeling stressed today. Stress doesn't come from the present moment. It comes from thoughts in your mind telling you how awful things can be or have been. So again, let me say that. I want you to really soak this in. Stress doesn't come from the present moment. It comes from thoughts in your mind telling you how awful things have been or how awful they could be. As human beings, we have a tendency to live either in the past or in the future, worrying about past mistakes. You've heard it a million times. How often do you miss one shot and then it's in your head and you miss the next and the next and the next? What if we had the ability to simply let it go and live completely in the present, knowing that you have practiced your sport hours and hours and hours on end, and physically you're capable of executing the task? Let me share a statistic with you. 50% of our thoughts are negative, and 85% of our thoughts are repetitive. So if half our thoughts are negative and almost all of our thoughts are repetitive, how difficult is it to overcome the negative thoughts that you're playing in your mind? Therefore, it's easy to see why the high-performing athletes are so successful. They've developed an ability to get to a high-performance state by getting rid of the negative thoughts and focusing solely on the action, so that the mind doesn't interfere with the action, but rather your muscle memory takes over, like a free throw, like a tennis serve, like a penalty kick when the game's on the line, like stepping up to the plate and making great contact with the ball, like a golf swing. The high performers get rid of the negative thoughts and concentrate solely on the action. I remember when I was a high school tennis player, I went through this terrible period of time where I kept double faulting. And did I know how to serve? Absolutely, I knew how to serve. But my mind kept saying, you double faulted the last game, you're probably going to double fault again this game. And what did I do? I double faulted. So again, that's just one example. We've all experienced it, but meditation and mindfulness can help you get to that high performance state. And that's why I wanted to share it with you today. Simply breathing can help calm your anxiety in those crucial moments and help you be successful. According to the Center of Disease Control, the following are ways to be kind to your mind. We just did the first one today. Pause and breathe. All we did today was pause and breathe, but that's the first step in being kind to your mind. The second, and I know you guys aren't going to like this, but take breaks from social media. You really have to stop the comparison game. And constantly being on social media and comparing to others. You know, do people often post their difficult struggles on social media? No, they post the highlight reel. So again, take breaks from social media. Take care of your body. I'm so happy that you're all able to return to activity in one way, shape, or form, whether it's strength and conditioning with Zach, practice with your team. That's important, to take care of your body and also make sure you're getting enough sleep. That's a big part of taking care of your body that we could spend a whole nother session talking about. Reach out and stay connected. Stay connected to your parents or your guardians and loved ones. Stay connected to your teammates. Reach out on the phone, give a call, and seek help when needed. That's what I started off my talk with you about, is everything has changed about mental health. There are so many people willing to help you that were never available to many of us when we were student athletes. Mental health is just as important as physical health. So, how do you know if you or a teammate needs help? If you are feeling fear, anger, sadness, or worry, and if those feelings are beginning to dominate your day so that it's difficult for you to focus in class, difficult for you to enjoy the relationships in your life, if those feelings are becoming overwhelming, reach out. Changes in appetite. If you're losing your appetite, if you're eating excessively, major changes in your appetite could be a sign that it's time to ask for help. We have a nutritionist in the counseling center that can help you with those types of things in your diet. Difficulty concentrating and sleeping. As I mentioned, sleep is a very important piece of taking care of your body. It's probably the most underrated part of performance for college athletes, sleep. And I might mention that Calm has different types of meditations that can help you with sleep if that's something you're struggling with. If you're experiencing physical reactions to stress, headaches, body aches, upset stomach, that can be a sign. And also increased use of alcohol, tobacco, or other drugs as a coping mechanism for the feelings that you're struggling with. Here at Lynn, we have several resources for you if you or a teammate is struggling with mental health. The most important thing to do is to tell someone. Tell your coach, tell your athletic trainer, come see me, call the counseling center. You can set up a Zoom session, you can call, you can even scan the QR code to make an appointment. But again, the most important thing is to tell somebody. If you're not comfortable speaking with someone about either yourself or a teammate, you can always also file a concerned persons report. The most important thing to remember is that you're not alone. So I want to thank you for spending some time with me today. I really have enjoyed talking about a topic that, again, is near and dear to my heart. Please remember that we're all experiencing stress and anxiety, but it's how you deal with that that will help you get through the tough times. We talked about resilience last week. This week, we talked about mindfulness. What is mindfulness? And even we meditated for a little bit. So if you have questions or you'd like to learn more about meditation, please feel free to email me, reach out in the chat. But most of all, know that we're all here for you. We're excited that you're here, and we do anything to help you. So please reach out if you need anything. And again, have a great weekend. Continue to practice social distancing, wear your mask, and wash your hands so that we continue practices as we have been. So again, thanks for sharing some time with me, and have a great rest of your weekend, everybody. Take care.